Whether you're a student or a graduate, just looking for a job, or want to go travelling around the world, communication is at the heart of almost everything that we do. And one of the biggest components of communication is active listening. In this short video, we're going to explore what active listening is and tell you our 5 top tips on how to be a great active listener and therefore a great communicator. Did you know, when we are listening, we only actually remember about 25 to 50% of what we hear? Listening intently, or for a really long time, is a really difficult thing to do in modern times. We've all been in that situation where someone is clearly switched off from what we're saying. And in the age of tech and social media, there are loads of distractions, both at university, in work, and in our personal lives. So clearly listening is a skill that we can all benefit from improving. Becoming a better listener can improve your relationships, your productivity, as well as help you to avoid conflict and misunderstandings in both work and your personal life. But it's also worth noting here that employers see listening as one of the most important skills for the future. So, if you want to improve your listening skills, the best thing to do is practice active listening. Active listening is a communication skill which involves more than just hearing the words another person speaks. It's about consciously trying to understand the entire message being communicated. So, here are our top tips for being a great active listener. Number 1, pay attention. Look at the speaker directly and avoid being distracted by other things like phones, emails, music, or other conversations. Try to put aside any distracting thoughts, and if you do notice yourself getting distracted, try to refocus on what they're saying. Listening isn't just about the words you are hearing. Remember to pay attention to the speaker's body language and their tone of voice too. This will really help you to understand the entire message that's being communicated to you. Number 2, show that you are listening. It's not just about the speaker's body language. Use your own body language to show that you are listening. For example, you could nod, smile, and use other facial expressions to show that you're interested in the conversation. Try to have an open posture and avoid things like having your arms folded across your chest, as this can give people the impression that you're not really interested in what they're saying. It's also really important not to interrupt, but you can encourage the speaker with small verbal comments like, yes, I agree, and uh-huh. Number 3, ask questions. If something isn't fully clear, ask questions. Even if you think you understand, try to reflect on what's being said anyway and ask questions to clarify. This will also reinforce that you are listening to the person. You can paraphrase what the person has said by saying things like, what I'm hearing is, or it sounds like you were saying. Ask them open questions to clarify points that have been made. For example, what do you mean when you say, or can you tell me a bit more about? These are all great ways of showing that you are actively listening. Number 4, don't plan what to say next. We can often find ourselves mentally preparing for what we want to say next in conversation, and this means that we often switch off from what the person is actually saying to us. So, try to avoid preparing a reply before the other person has finished speaking. Otherwise, you might miss the main message they're trying to communicate to you. And remember that it's okay to pause and consider what they have said and how you want to respond before you start speaking. These pauses are perfectly normal and will show that you have genuinely listened to what they've had to say. Number 5, don't jump to conclusions. It's easy to jump to conclusions or misunderstand someone before they finish talking. Our emotions or opinions can often prevent us from genuinely understanding what a person is saying. So, don't assume you know what is going to be said next. Try to allow the speaker to finish each point before you interrupt them or challenge them. But even if you follow all of these active listening tips, you still might not agree with what someone is saying, and that is okay. But actively listening may give you a better insight into a person's opinion and why they feel a certain way, as well as helping you to develop this really important skill. So, these are our 5 top tips for active listening. Next time you're in a conversation, try to notice when and why you stop paying attention, because we all do it. You can then revisit some of these tips and try and give them a go for next time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.